Well, the hawk is back up there on the tree limb this morning. There he flew off. Good morning. Hey, you guys, you're skimping on your walk. We went all the way out to the end. What's with this halfway stuff? Huh? What's with this halfway stuff? Come on. I'll rub you up at the house. So last night about 12:30 a.m. right as we were going to bed, I noticed that we had a software update available, and Don came out first thing this morning and accepted the update and put it on because we knew we were just going to be hanging out this morning. And so I thought it is the Autopilot update, which is just awesome. It also talks about a mobile connector improvement. And then it's reviewing previous release notes, which was the navigation. So we should be able to see other cars in the Autopilot lane now. It's more similar to the way Autopilot 1 is. So we're going to take a drive up to Home Depot in Garner, the one farther away, so we can go up 401 and Don can put the car into Autopilot and we can take a little video and see if it's working the same or better, if it's just the cars in the path or that kind of thing. So we thought we'd go for a short drive. Yeah, so this is just a little quick 16-mile trip, 27 minutes up 401 to Garner, and still though will be 55-mile-per-hour speeds on a 4-lane divided highway, and we should have a chance to give Autopilot a try. So we're here at a stoplight, and yes, we could definitely see cars next to us. So just to be clear, we are on 2018.21.9 or 75 Baker Dog Baker Charlie 11. All right, so we're on 401 headed north now, and Don has already is in Autopilot and tried to lane change, and it's still a no-go on Highway 401. Don is desperate for the car to lane change on local U.S. highways.
Yeah, I don't see why.
I mean, look at this road. Why can we not lane change on this road? This is what I would consider a safe road for Autopilot at the level that it's out right now with an attentive driver.
Right, and also this is the kind of road right now, it's no big deal, there's not very much traffic, but this road has a fair amount of traffic, and having some type of assistance helping me get over, it would be useful. In other words, in a normal traffic condition where there's quite a few cars around, having the Autopilot be able to change lanes safely would increase the safety. In other words, I'm saying, Elon, you keep saying Autopilot is use Autopilot because it's safer, and yet you don't do auto lane change on these types of roads where I really need the help doing the auto lane change. I don't really need the help doing the auto lane change that much when I'm passing a car on the interstate and I can look in my mirror and see, for 500 yards there's no cars anywhere in sight. But here, there's 4 cars on my quarter panel, 3 cars up my exhaust pipe, and 2 cars on the shoulder. I could use a little help.
Donnie's worked up.
I'm not worked up.
Donnie's pontificating.
I'm pontificating. It's Sunday and I'm preaching.
So there's a car coming up on our right, and you can tell that Ruby is aware of that car. It's a big Dodge Ram pickup truck. But when the vehicle gets around the front right wheel,
there it shows up.
Picture of the sonar goes away, but yeah, you can see the pickup truck there.
Looks kind of like a Model S.
You think? You think it looks like a Model S? They all look like Teslas.
All right, here we go, Ruby. Slow down.
Will she stop?
Yeah, baby.
I tell you, she's stopping for stop traffic much, much, much better after 2018.10.4.
Right.
After that update, I'm still very watchful, but she stops for stop traffic now. in my lane. So the NTSB this past week had released their preliminary report on the Model X accident out in the California freeway. Forgive me for not having the more specific. Yeah, the Apple guy, which again, you know, we're really sad for that family's loss. But the compelling thing that I want to know, the one thing no one has said, is what level of autopilot was he driving? That's what I really want to know. That's the only other piece of information I care about that accident. Did he have 2018.10.4 on? Because that's around the time it was rolling out. Or was he still on an older version of autopilot? And maybe some point we'll get an answer to that question. Yeah, I mean, we have these software updates going out all the time, which I think is awesome. And if you're going to talk about an issue with autopilot, it's a meaningless conversation. It's an incomplete conversation if you don't know what level of autopilot or what level the software was at. So all of these reports and things that ever talk about it, they need to include that piece of information so that everybody can be on the same page. Because we're talking about Autopilot 1 or Autopilot 2, or a car that's on a hasn't put software updates on for 6 months old level, or the one that, like us today, we've got the brand new level. It's really an important piece of the puzzle. All right, so we're coming up to this intersection. Don is not currently in autopilot, but we're pulling up behind, you know, some other vehicles that are stopped here. And so it's showing right now the car in front of us, but not the other cars. And Don did just engage autopilot.
So it's showing one over there.
One of one now. Yeah, I guess that one is maybe sort of. It's coming and going. It's just sort of outside, inside the range.
Like I said, there's like no traffic today. Normally at this point, there'd be a line of traffic backed up.
Yeah, well, it is Sunday after all.
Yeah. Call me Sunday driver.
I think it's fair to say at this point, Don's not noticing any difference in how autopilot is driving, just noticing the other cars showing up on the screen. And there was an interesting discussion going on. That's true, right?
Yes, just the car showing up. That's all I'm saying.
There was an interesting discussion that ensued on one of the Facebook groups about what the car shows the human driver, because they want the touchy-feely about what the car is seeing is really nothing to do with the algorithm that the car is, you know, reviewing what's in its field of vision, right? I mean, it's what it displays to the screen means nothing to the car, although you would think obviously that the cars being shown is based off of the information that the car has about what it's in its field of vision. But how it chooses to show that versus what it's actually analyzing is really two different things.
Right.
So we've been out of the car for a while. Ruby says it's 89 degrees out there. I gotta tell you, the humidity feels definitely over 80%, maybe over 90%. It's really humid out there. It's just not the kind of day you want to be out sitting in the sun unless you're at the pool and can go take a dip to cool off, because it's that stagnant, hot, sticky, the second you walk out the door kind of air out there today. But we're cool in Ruby. I didn't film it, but we had some motorcycles come up on our left and they showed up as cars. In this scenario, they did not show up as a motorcycle. I told Don I was interested to see if semis show up as a truck. And he said on Autopilot 1 that motorcycles show up as a motorcycle. So not our experience with this update that time they passed us to the left. Yeah, this store is bigger than the Fuquay store. Not necessarily better, but it is bigger. Don says he doesn't need one, but it's about time they came out with a tool backpack. Got the battery and the free tool.
You get that.
Yeah, they got a little Father's Day special going on. So we were thinking about the small wet dry vac or the cordless pole trimmer, and they don't have the batteries.
I wore my green road AOB colored shirt just for this purpose.
Yeah, they don't have any of the 2 battery kits left. They don't have any of the wet dry vacs, and yeah, so we're sort of no-go here.
Yeah, and the lady said unfortunately it's not available online, so it isn't like you can just like go online and
nope.
order it and have it shipped to your store or something like that.
I finally found the lights I want. Yes. First I saw these and I thought, oh, that's definitely what I want. but this will go the entire length of the front porch in one set. So, and it's LED. Yeah, and I mean, $15 for 8 feet or $30 for 40 feet. Definitely the 40 feet.
Yeah, but this is 10 bulbs.
Right.
So it's 10 bulbs and it's 8 feet, but that's not enough.
Right.
And this one is 20 bulbs, it's 40 feet, so you can do this loop-de-loop stuff. This one you'd have to run taut.
Right. Okay. Way cool. I thought I could leave without coming out to the garden center, but alas, I was wrong. Don says he's not too worried about me wanting to hang out here in the heat too long, though. Phew, it's steamy out here.
Damn, it is.
Let's get back to the car. I'm ready to get back in the air conditioning.
I hear you.
There's a leaf. Well, Don and I want you to know that one of the reasons you want an electric car if you don't already have one is that in the summertime you can just run the air conditioner, wait for somebody in the parking lot. You don't have to be thinking, oh God, I got the whole car running, because you just run an air conditioner. It's really great.
Yeah.
Don's fob is now not working at all. And the thing of it is I use my fob. Yeah, see, I walked close. I use my fob all the time and he rarely uses his. And his is the one that's not working. Poor Donnie. So this guy in the pickup truck behind us, Don saw him in the rearview mirror. He had up his phone and he was either taking a picture or he was taking a video of us.
And he was really close.
Don was watching him to make sure he was stopping here at the stoplight. That, you know, Don's on traffic aware cruise control and Ruby came to a stop in front of this car and he just wanted to make sure the guy behind came to a stop. We came through the light at Wake Tech and Ruby suddenly braked and there was no shadow, no line, no car in front of us. She didn't come to a complete stop. It wasn't an emergency brake, but she definitely acted like someone had crossed her path momentarily. So, you know, that's why you pay attention. I'm not saying that has to do with the new update or not. I've had her do that occasionally before, but just noting that it happened.
That was not me.
Huh.
I don't know what that was.
I didn't even see a shadow there. Stopped in Harris Teeter, had to pick out a watermelon without Johnny. So I got out of the car with my purse, and as you might remember from earlier in the video, Don's key fob is not working. So Ruby popped up a message that the key was not in the car. And he was just refreshing his memory about where to place the fob when stuff like that happens. So.
Right. My girl, she's talented. She's playing two devices and fighting a Kyogre or something.
Yeah, it's a big whale Pokemon.
Yeah, we got lots of people here and it's really hot. They're actually using the shade off of that light pole to try
we beat
get out of here.
Ooh, Johnny got 9 rare candies. Yes.
Okay,
that's
so
cool.
Apparently that was successful.
Yes, Johnny is going to be so excited. He got a shiny Kyogre. Wow. Looks like you're holding up a dead mouse.
It's a dead fob.
Don says the battery's not bad. He put his meter on it.
Right. I mean, first of all, the fob has been acting up for a while. Okay. I don't get to drive Ruby quite, you know, once on weekends and stuff. But I noticed even before the she took it for the annual checkup, the triple click wasn't working. But I think other stuff was working, but the triple click wasn't working because I use the triple click all the time. And now Marianne up at the store, she got out to run into the grocery store, took her purse, and it said there's no key fob in the car, even though this was in my pocket. So I looked up in the owner's manual online on the MCU, which is very handy, and it said put it in a cup holder. And it says now if it still doesn't recognize the key in the cup holder, put it down by the 12-volt outlet. And so I put it down by the 12-volt. It still didn't recognize no key. And then it said, well, if it doesn't do it, then it says, you know, like replace the battery. Well, I'd already replaced the battery, and when I got home, I checked it, and the battery is fine. It's,
so the NFC's not working in the fob.
Right. And oh, by the way, I think if I took Mary, in fact, we should do that. And although that may not be a great idea when we only have one working fob, take the battery out of her fob.
No!
Right,
Go
out
Don't
there.
break my fob because your fob's broke.
Go out there and see if I can unlock the car with no battery in the fob on hers, because I couldn't unlock the car with mine holding it down between the driver's door and the rear door on the driver's side. It's supposed to unlock the car. So even if your battery's dead, you're supposed to be able to drive your car. But this thing, it's like the NFC's not working on it.
Johnny's home. Everybody's waiting for him to come through the door. They are. Where is he? Is he coming? I think he's coming. Where is he? There he is. Hey, buddy. Hey, Mom. I'm pleased with the lights. They look good. Just enough light that I can come out and visit with Panther. Not so much light that they attract the summer insects.